Good morning everyone, it's great to see you again. Now today we are going to be learning about another one of Jesus' miracles. This time he didn't heal anybody like we've been learning about before, but he did provide for them in a miraculous way. Can you think of a time where you have been really hungry? It might have been while you were waiting for your next meal to be prepared, or when you woke up first thing in the morning and you hadn't eaten all night. Well, in today's story, there are a lot of people who were really hungry, but they didn't know where their food was going to come from. But someone provided for them. Can you guess who that was? Jesus had been doing lots of teaching, and people had been hearing about the amazing things that he'd been doing, and they followed him around to learn more from him. And one day, Jesus was speaking to a big group of people, and as the day wore on, Jesus and his disciples decided to try and take a break and go and find somewhere peaceful to rest. But as they got on the boat and travelled out onto the water, people noticed which direction they were headed, and they went on the land to try and reach the point where they were headed before them. And they managed it. And when Jesus and his disciples arrived, Jesus carried on teaching them. It was starting to get late, and his disciples suggested that Jesus should start sending people home so they could get some food, because they didn't have anything to feed them. But Jesus told them to find something for them. So the disciples went round the crowd to see how much food people had with them. And this is what they found. They found 5 loaves and 2 fish. The problem was there were over 5,000 people there who needed feeding, and the disciples thought there was no way that this was going to be enough food. But Jesus took the food and he looked up to heaven and he gave thanks to God for the food. Then he started breaking the loaves and divided up the fish, and he gave it all to the disciples to give out to the people. Everyone who was in the crowd had managed to have something to eat, and they had eaten until they had enough. And afterwards the disciples went round and collected the leftover food, and they found there were 12 baskets of food left over. So the more that Jesus divided the bread and the fish and shared it out to people, the more he had to give away. Let's think about that a bit. Have a look at my piece of paper. On my piece of paper, I have 4 corners. 1, 2, 3, 4. Now I wonder what would happen if I decided to share my corners and give one away. Let's have a look. I wonder how many corners I've got now. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So I started with 4, and even though I've given one away, I have now got more. Let's see what happens when I cut another corner off. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So I've given even more away, but I've still got more corners left. Let's do the rest and see what happens. Let's count now. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So each time I give a corner away, I end up getting more. And this was exactly the same as Jesus did with the bread and the fish. Each time he gave some away, there was more left to share. Not only did everyone get a little piece of food, they had enough, and so they were full, and there were 12 baskets left over. Jesus provided for all of those people there, met all of their needs. And God is exactly the same for us today. The Bible shows us that because it looked very unlikely that more than 5,000 people were going to be fed with just 5 loaves and 2 fish, that Jesus provided for them in a miraculous way. And God does the same. When things seem impossible, He still provides for us and meets our needs. God is our provider, and we should take time to say thank you for the things that He's given us. It might be we should say thank you for the foods that we have. Or we should say thank you for a safe and warm place to live. Or for family and friends who love us and care for us. So I have a challenge for you this week. Each day I want you to take a couple of minutes to say thank you to God for the things that He provides us with. It's really important to do this, to say thank you, just like you'd say thank you to anyone else who gave you something. But God gives us all we need, and it's really important to thank Him for it. So have a great week, and I look forward to seeing you again soon. Bye.